In this video, I'm going to talk about what you need to know to start a successful coaching business from home, especially in today's climate. Listen, the world has changed. The markets have changed. People's behaviors have changed. People's demands have changed. What they're looking for in leadership and specifically what they're looking for in coaches has completely changed. If you don't meet the demands of the market, you will soon be irrelevant. Hey everyone, in this edition of the Truth About Coaching show, we're going to talk about building a successful coaching business from home, which is perfect, right? Because our world is different now. It's not ever going to be the same as it used to be. So many people have been driven into their homes against their will almost. And a lot of people are going online and really wanting to figure out ways to work from home. If you're already in the coaching industry or you want to become a coach, we have tons of free resources for coaches right here in the description of this video. So check out all of those links. All of them. Don't just look for a few of them. I've been doing this coaching business for a long time, and I want to share with you the simplest ways to build a business from home, but the distinctions that you have to have in your mind and in your marketing to make it successful. Because the marketing climate has changed. Our society has changed. So the way people are interacting with the internet is different now than it ever was. Same as it ever was. There's a song. What song is that one? So if you don't make some of the changes based on some of the society changes that we've been forced to make, then you just can't succeed. So the first thing I want to talk about is coaching in a crisis, coaching during this COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. What it requires for you to be a leader during this time is for you to really understand what's going on, not just in society, but what's going on inside most humans. We are experiencing a fear that most of us have never had to confront before. The entire world has been touched by an existential crisis, meaning our existence is being threatened. This is a life or death scenario for so many people. And our leaders don't know what's going on. Our scientists don't know what's going on. Our society doesn't really know what's going on. And so people are in this state of disruption, and nobody can actually tell us what's happening and what we can expect. The reason that's so important to understand is when the human brain is disrupted the way we've all been disrupted and society has been disrupted, and there's no sense of stable information that we can bank on, that we can trust, then the human brain essentially is in this state of like a free fall, right? This energetic free fall, and we're just trying to grab onto something that feels stable, something that we can control. But there's so much overwhelming information. You look on social media and everybody is pushing their opinions, everybody's pushing their agendas. There's no sense of congruency in social media. If you look at the leaders, whether it's the politicians or the people on the news media or anybody else that you might see as a leader, they're saying all these different things. And so there isn't any kind of sense of togetherness. There's so much separation and dissension in our world today. And even though right now during the pandemic, I think it would be fantastic if we were coming together as a species, that's not happening. At least that's not what I'm seeing in America, and that's not what I'm seeing in the news stations from all over the globe. And science, the source that most people turn to for their stability, for their certainty, science doesn't even know. Our scientists are giving predictions, our scientists are trying to explain things, but the scientific knowledge, number one, is being overrun and overpowered by all the other noise on the internet. But number two, this is something that we've never seen before, so it can offer its best guess, but that's all it is a guess. So if we understand that human society has been disrupted in a way that it never has been disrupted before, it is producing the need for a new type of leader. And for those of you that have been in personal development for a long time, or if you're just relatively new and you want to commit to personal development, and especially in the coaching industry, The way we need to coach people is different than it's ever been before. So we have to be compassionate to what's happening in society. If you expect people to behave the way they used to behave, if you're predicting outcomes in your business or you're trying to predict human behavior based on the way it used to be, you're going to make yourself go crazy. It's just impossible to predict what's going to happen in the new world based on the old world. All right, I'm about to take a sip of water, but what happens when I drink my water is the water bottle moves. And so when I make my cuts on the video, I'll be talking here and then the next cut, like the water bottle has moved. So I'm going to try to place it back in the same I was going to use my pen as a marker, but now I've just moved my pen. So I'm just going to try to remember where it is. Because of all of that, leaders today need to meet people where they are rather than expecting society or your prospects in business to come meet you where you are. People have been essentially ordered to shelter in place, and even if they haven't been specifically told in their part of the world to shelter in place, society has in its fabric this retreat kind of energy. And so people are back at home more. People are accessing information more online or social media. So because the behavior patterns of people have changed, we can't expect them to come up to us as they used to. We've got to go meet them where they are. You can't underestimate the significance of an energetic shift like that, where people are essentially retreating back into their homes. And if they're retreating, but you're expecting them to come back for you, it's just not going to work. So if you imagine your business kind of like being a house, instead of expecting people to come all the way up the walkway and up the porch and knock on the door like they used to, you've got to roll out the red carpet or the real carpet. In terms of transparency, you got to roll out the real carpet and give them an experience from the middle of the street. And if they have an experience of you and your content, then they're more likely to follow the carpet up to your house. So we got to meet them where they are, understanding with compassion where they are emotionally, and make our invitations accordingly. So what are some of the things that you actually need to change? I think there are three main things that you need to change in your marketing because the market has changed. The first thing is you've got to give people embodied experiences that they can't deny. We've all been used to buying expectations for a long, long time. We pay money and we expect to get the product that we wanted, or we expect to get the experience that we wanted from the product. And so many of us have been taken advantage of by unscrupulous marketing tactics or sales tactics. I know unscrupulous is a word. Did I just use it properly? So that has led people to resist sales and to resist marketing more than they've ever resisted before. So we have to give them an experience that they can't deny. Give them stuff for free, and if they enjoy it, then offer them more in a paid scenario. When somebody has an experience of you, so let's say they download a free report and they implement the things that you teach them and their life shifts in some way, they're going to want more information rather than, hey, if you buy my thing, then this is what your life is going to look like. We're tired of those tactics, and because of what's happening in the world right now, people are going to stop paying attention to anything that sounds like manipulation. The second shift you have to make based on that conversation is you really truly have to show up with the intention, the energy, and the commitment to serve people. Even if you remove some of the surface level behaviors, if your energy still is manipulation in any way, if you're still doing whatever you need to do to open up their wallets and try to get something from them, they will feel it. And I believe because of all these changes in society, people are becoming a lot more in tune with their intuition. Their BS meters, their bullshit meters, are becoming a lot more fine-tuned. But fortunately, they'll also be able to sense the service energy. And that service kind of energy will be distinct, which is a great way for you and I to actually stand out just by wanting to help people. And finally, you have to be more transparent nowadays and going forward than you've ever been. Society is going to demand transparency. It's like that's going to be the new currency that they pay attention to. And they're going to stop paying attention to anything that doesn't feel transparent. And essentially what transparent is real. It's the ability to see through something and see the authenticity. So realness is going to be more valuable than it's ever been in the past. Now, the great thing about that is you don't need a skill to be real. You just need permission. So those of you that actually have the internal permission to be authentic, you're going to have so much more opportunity to be influential going forward. And the other thing is, because pretty much everybody's working from home now, at least a lot of the news media and radio stations and so many people are working from home now, the standards of what professionalism is, even in the areas where we've always expected professionalism, has lowered substantially. So you're seeing news anchors in their home with backgrounds like of their children's playhouse and like all these things that we used to only see on YouTube. Now we're seeing it everywhere. Now you have no excuses for why you can't be leading people. You don't need professional quality studio lighting and audio. You don't need that stuff. Society's standards of professionalism has lowered. And essentially, they've all come back to the authentic listener and the authentic consumer. So that's exciting news for any of you that are willing to just be real and share your lessons that you've learned with people who are looking for those lessons. Don't get caught up in trying to convince yourself that you are a guru or that you are an expert or that you are an influencer. Unless that works for you. But for most people, you being the focus actually doesn't create inspiration. But I want you to source your inspiration knowing that the lessons you've learned in your life are needed by other people. And so for most of you, that's going to allow you to teach the lessons rather than to grab the spotlight. If you show up with these energies of authenticity and realness and service, your product, which is you, your lessons are going to be so much more valuable than they've ever been, not only to people consuming it, all your free stuff, but also to people willing to pay for it. And of course, if you want help with anything inside this conversation, whether it's something personal about your fears or your certainty or helping you get the right message in your marketing, or it's something more strategic about your business and sales and funnels and all that stuff, go ahead and click the link in the description of the video, register for a free strategy consultation, and we'll support you in any way that we possibly can. Here's the thing, just be real and go help people. That's what leaders need to do from this point forward. You have value in the lessons you've learned in your life, and there are people right now searching desperately for that value. Show up to serve them, get in front of the camera, get the words out in blog articles, get yourself on audios. However you are going to teach, teach your face off. I almost said a bad word. Teach your brains, no, that's not going to come out right. Teach your heart out. Teach and teach and teach and teach. That's what this world is demanding right now, and you're being called forward. If you like this video, check out that one about what it takes to build a coaching business in 2020 and beyond. So we're going to dive into what is no longer working, what is working, how to get people's attention, what are the new rules of engagement, and where are the opportunities now. And then finally, I just want to give